go. Good morning, everybody. So Helen McIntosh, who is our chamber president, unfortunately could not attend, but she sends her regards. And today we'll be discussing the secrets of growing a profitable business. And I will allow Mark to take the floor. So welcome, everyone. Make sure you get comfortable, get your coffees. I know it's quite early and it's a cool morning too. So get your notepads and pens and let's get ready to learn. Thank you, Mark. You can take the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Senga, and a very good morning to you all and welcome to today's webinar. It's going to be the secrets to growing a profitable business. So if you just want to bear with me a second, I'll share my screen and we can make a start. Okay, well, we've got the secrets to growing a profitable business. We're going to be running for around about 45 minutes this morning, maybe a bit more, and then there'll be some questions and answers at the end for those of you that would like to participate. It's actually going to be 7 secrets we're going to be talking about today, and we're going to go through them one by one. There's a lot of information here for you guys, so hopefully you can absorb as much as possible and put it to good practice in your businesses. So who are we? We're UK Business Mentoring. We've been mentoring owner managers, SME businesses since 2009, and we help them with their challenges and their frustrations and wanting to usually move their businesses on and grow their business. We're rated #1 in the UK by our client feedback, and that's on Free Index. High growth, low growth, or no growth? Well, if you look at the graph we've got in front of us, the red line you can see at the bottom, that's what we call flat lining. Unfortunately, that is where the majority of the small businesses in this country currently sit. They don't have any formal marketing plans, they don't put any strategies together, and their businesses just drift on from one year to the next. But yet then we have the smaller percentage, the blue line if you like, and those are the businesses that are managing to grow every single year incrementally, sometimes more than others, but they're always pushing forward. The owners got values of the business and the vision for the business, and they're looking to grow continually. And that's a good thing in the short term, in the medium term. But also at some point, guys, you're going to want to exit your business. So whether you're going to want to exit completely, exit partially, get someone else into the business, it doesn't really matter. But the fact is you're going to have a much more attractive proposition to those people that are going to be looking to buy a business. Certainly if I was buying a business and we have 2 businesses that are the same, one is obviously the red, one is the blue, which one would I want to buy? Well, of course, I'd want the blue business. And guess what? I'd be prepared to pay more money for that because they know where they're going. So what is the difference then between this small amount of businesses and the majority of businesses out there? Well, the good news for you guys, it's not actually a lot. The owners of these businesses, they're not super intelligent, they're no different from you and I, but what they've worked out, the smaller percentage, is that if we do some certain things in certain ways, then our business is going to be much better off for that, and we can change the way we're doing things. So we're going to go through some of those areas today and work out what those differences are to be. So as I said earlier, we're going to be talking about 7 key areas, and each one of these key areas can make a major difference to the profits in your business. So the first one I'd like to talk about is the inquiries, okay, the prospects, those people that you want, that new business that you want to get across the line. And we're going to talk a little bit now about focusing on those perhaps a little bit more than we would have done normally. And to do that, we really need to get a good understanding of our marketplace. Sure, lots of you that are in business already are doing this. You have a fairly good understanding of what you're doing, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're actually talking about going a little bit further. We're talking about more market research. We're talking about getting a really good handle and understanding of the mindset of the people that we want to convert and get across the line to us as new businesses or new business. So what does your product or service do for your customers? Okay, those of you that training already, again, you've got a pretty good idea. Think, well, I do this, I do that. Yes, we do. But the point of this is to try and understand if we can develop it and take it a little bit further. So what we're doing currently, what is it about what we're doing? How can we add value to that and move it a little bit further to make it more attractive to those new prospects. And then once we find that out, we're going to start looking in a bit more detail. We're going to start looking at the demographics now. So who are those people that we want to trade with? And who are those people we want to get across the line? What type of business are we looking to work with? It business to business, it could be business to consumer. Is it the the mum in the family you're looking to sell your product to, or the dad in the family? Or is it a large corporate you want to work with? Or do you want to work with small SME businesses? Is it a geographical thing? Do you want to work overseas? Do you want to stick to a certain region? These are all the things we need to start spending some more time on as we look to increase that new flow of business. And then we're going to take it one step further now. So we're going to look at the psychographics. So why is it that people are going to buy our products or services? What are we giving to them? Okay, are we making their life easier? Is it money? There's always something that they're going to want to be buying our product for. And it's our job to find out what those emotional triggers are, again, to press on those points and get them to commit to us as a paying customer. And then why is it? Why are people going to want to buy from your business? What is it about your business that makes someone want to buy from it? Your compelling competitive advantage, or your USP, or your point of difference, whatever way you want to look at it, is very important. When I go into businesses, I always ask the owners what their point of difference is. How do you differentiate yourself from your competition? And the answer I nearly always get back, it's service. Nearly always, time and time again, we give great service. Now, that's great and that's good, but nowadays, guys, that's just a prerequisite for doing business, if you like. You have to give good service to be in business, or you won't even be around. So service isn't really a differentiator, and I wouldn't say it was. Now, sure, you've got five-star hotels, those guys right at the top of their game, where service is everything to them. So I'm just talking generally here, but certainly when we come down to the smaller businesses, service is very important, but it's not necessarily going to be your differentiator. And price as well. Once we are able to show clearly to our target market what is different about our business and what we do, we can charge more money. That usually at that point, most people in the room goes quiet. So we're not talking about putting our prices up overnight. What we're talking about here is new business. So what can we do to differentiate our business from the opposition, which will allow us to charge more money? So, for example, if I'm a big corporate and I buy widgets. That's what my job is. I buy widgets. So I've got two suppliers in front of me. Both got the same products, selling me exactly the same thing. Both nice people. I've worked with them before. I know their service is good. I know that they'll deliver on time. So how is it I can make a judgment on them about who I'm going to be buying from? I haven't got anything. So what am I left to judge them on? Price. And that's what you don't want, a price war. So these two guys are now going to compete for my business, and it's a race to the bottom. That's why it's really important to be able to differentiate ourselves from what the others are doing out there. So the question will be to you guys, is it time to review your marketing? What are you currently doing? What have you done? And how can we think about changing that now to accelerate things for you? Who's the decision maker? Simple one. Again, business to business, business to consumer, it doesn't matter. We need to be focusing our sales, our marketing on those people that are going to make the difference. Those people that are going to buy our product, and not waste our time putting energy, effort and money into areas that aren't going to get us a return and or the wrong people. So a little stat for you now, what percentage of businesses in the UK, so we're talking about SMEs here now, micro businesses, what percentage do you think have no formal marketing plan? Well, there you go, it's in front of you now. It's a whopping 90%, a huge percent. And unfortunately, that 90% is the red line you saw on the graph earlier, and the 10% is the blue line. So today, guys, a lot of the stuff I'm talking to you about, a lot of information that's coming across, that's going to help you, if you can implement that in your businesses, get into that 10%. So where would we start? Well, we'd start with a marketing plan. That's as good a place to start as any. We like to keep it nice and simple. I've got an example here that I use. There'll be a template available at the end if anyone wants it. As you can see, down the left-hand side, I've got my channels to market. I haven't got my glasses on at the moment, but it might be exhibitions, it might be email marketing. There's hundreds of different channels to market. And then we have an action plan. What are we going to do around those channels? And then over a period of time, we're constantly monitoring and changing those things, and monitoring something that will crop up a few times today, you'll notice. And that's because it's important. Remember, we're trying to change the way we've done things in the past to do different things to improve our profits in various areas. Keep it simple, just 1 or 2 pages, and it compels you into action, guys. And that's what's important about having these things. It makes you look at it each month. It makes you share it with your management teams, or if you're a smaller business, you'll do it yourself. But you don't need to spend lots of time on it. You just need to have a plan. We need to know where we're going, and then we can work on that as well. And then we're tracking our return on investment on each of our campaigns. Okay, we've been through that. Number 2 now, it's going to be our inquiry conversion rate. So now we know who we're going to be selling to and marketing to. We know the people we want to get on board as our new prospects. How are we going to try and convert those into paying clients? Well, this is a company I was in about a year or so ago, and they asked me to look at their business. They were really struggling. Nice, it was a mum and dad business, a little nursery, turning over, I don't know, about 400 grand, I think it was, something like that. And they were probably only about 6 months away from going bust. They've been running for a number of years, really passionate about what they do, really, really good at understanding what they do with the children in the nursery. But what they weren't very good at was the business side of things. And we first started to look at their conversion rates. So how are their clients coming to the business? What are you actually currently doing? It was frightening, actually. So they had a website, and prospects, the parents, they'd come onto the website, they'd request a prospectus rather, for the nursery. And then at the weekend, when they had time, because they were always busy on Sunday, they print out the prospectus, they put it in an envelope, put always second class stamp, and send it out. Now, if that parent had, contacted the previous Monday, we've gone through to the Sunday, by the time they get that prospectus, we're now talking 2 weeks down the line. I mean, really just not good enough in this day and age. So that was one thing we started to look at. Okay, how can we get these prospects quicker? How can we look after them? How can we focus on those particular prospects? So we started to do quite a few things in the business, which I'm going to run through in a second. But these are the numbers that I got when we first went in there. So we broke everything down, and we got to some numbers of around about 200 new inquiries coming through every year, and we were converting at that time around about 20% of those. That equated to 40, obviously, children a year, paying on average between 9 and 10,800, which meant we had a turnover of, there we are, £432,000, of which currently we're losing money on. So I put a number of measures into place, and the first one, obviously, we wanted to look at was how can we engage with those people that are interested in our nursery as quick as possible. You know what it's like, guys. Those of you that have had children or have children, schooling, nursery, those things are very, very high priority for parents, and they want to know very, very quickly as much information as they can about that particular place. So we now trained up a member of staff, so the owners could get on with doing what they tended to like doing more of the time. I mean, the other one as well, that was the other thing. So they'd have, people had the prospectus, they'd want to come in with their children, and it was always when it suited the owners of the business. Oh, we can't do it for 10 days, we can't do it for 14 days. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So we certainly looked at addressing those things, and we put, as I say, someone in the position to make sure that wasn't going to happen. Immediate response, obviously, to someone that had either emailed or telephoned in to make sure they were looked after in the fashion you would expect them. They were given a time slot, whatever suited them, whether it be a Saturday, a Sunday, an evening, a morning. We were bending over backwards now to get those people through the door. And also we put in place a quality tour, so the child can also come around with the parents while the other children were there and really get a good idea of what was going on, and so the parents would feel more comfortable. And then I put an incentive scheme in place, which helped everyone in the business really understand where we were going, what we were trying to do, and they were able, obviously, to share in that. Okay, so as this is building, on the left-hand side is the column we just spoke about. They were the numbers. And after 2 months on the right-hand side, this is exactly what happened. So if you look at the conversion rate there, we've increased that by 50%. We don't have any more people contact. We've not worked on the sales and marketing yet. We're just talking about the conversion rate. We've got a 50% uplift in just 2 months. And the knock-on effect of that over a period of time, over a year, obviously in this case, was 60 children instead of the 40. So you can see the numbers for yourself there. Our turnover went up from 432 to £648,000 the next year, and equating in a net profit to that business of £108,000. And that's a business that was losing money just by us focusing on one area and this area alone. That's how powerful it can be when we start breaking down these elements of our business and focusing on those differences. So what's your percentage conversion rate at the moment? Do you know what it is? Do you know how many customers you're converting from your sales and marketing activity? If you don't, I would suggest it might be a good idea to start monitoring that. What's your process? What journey do your new customers go through when they become prospects and you're looking to get them over the line? Do you actually review? Do you look at what happens to that prospect as they go on their journey? Have you ever mystery shopped your business? I bet most of you have never mystery shopped your business. Get someone else to call in, or yourself if you've got a bigger business, and go through the process that your client will go through and see how good you're doing things. Look at what the competition are up to. Spend some time doing some mystery shopping on them as well, and maybe take some of the best stuff they're doing and improve on it or differentiate from it and put it into your own business as well. And then, as I keep saying, we need to track and monitor what we're doing so we know if it's working, and if it's not, we might do this or we might tweak that. And what improvements can we make to our inquiry process to make it more efficient? And you know what it's like, guys, people these days, they look for ease of access. You're all the same. You go on a website, and when it's difficult for you to buy and you're scrolling between one thing and another, you get frustrated and you don't want to spend time there. And in the end, if it's not something you desperately want from that company, you'll drop it and go somewhere else where that process is made easier for you. Something else actually recently, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking through, so they wanted a complimentary mentoring sessions. We started going into some detail about their business, and we got into sales and marketing. I said, you know, guys, what are you doing currently? How are you generating your business? Well, we've got a website, we get some referrals, seems to be going okay. Okay, fine, all right. Anything else? Well, yeah. We started Google pay-per-click a couple of months back. Oh, great. Okay. So talk to me about that. How's it going? Well, it's brilliant. The phones are ringing off the hook. We're getting all these calls every day. It's really great. The place is buzzing. Oh, okay, super. And what's that costing you? About £1,800 a month for the Google pay-per-click at the moment. All right, great. Okay, well, let's break it down then. So how many inquiries are you getting every day? Oh, around about, I would say, good 20 inquiries a day. Okay, that's great. Now, how many of those are we converting? It goes a bit quiet. Now the husband pipes up. Well, he said, you know, probably only about 20, 15, but actually he said, I would say about 10%. Okay, so you're only converting 10%. Well, so the first thing I think is, well, why are you only converting 10% of those 20 calls? Well, what's going on there in the process? What's being said? Maybe it's a price, I don't know, but there's something we need to look at for sure in why we're not converting those customers. But equally, if we're only converting 10% of those customers, so we're saying 2 a day, how much is your average? You know, how much is your average selling price? What are you selling for? Well, I weren't quite sure again, but eventually we got there, about £150 per customer. Okay, fine. And then what profit? What's the net profit on that? Well, they didn't know, but between us, we kind of got to a figure. Again, it was about £30 profit on that average sale price. So I said, okay, let's do some quick maths here. So £60 a day, you're working 5 days a week. That's £300 a week, £1,200 a month. Okay, still quiet. I said, well, how much are we paying for our Google pay-per-click? £1,800 a month. I said, right, we're losing money, aren't we, guys? It's not working for us. So we're getting really excited about this buzz. The phones are ringing. Everyone thinks we're busy in the office. It's really great, really, but it's actually costing us money. Now, I actually think what they were doing was very good. Pay-per-click is very good and can be very good. It's how you structure it and how you do it. And what they weren't doing was monitoring what was happening, and it was actually costing them more money, and they just hadn't even realized that. So just a little story there about something that happened to me recently before we move on. So the next one up, average sale price. I just touched on it just now. Average sale price. Okay, so another little story for you. WH Smiths. So you're all very familiar with WH Smiths. You walk in to get your magazines, your holiday books, stationery, whatever it is, and you walk up to the counter and you're about to pay, and there it is, a stack of Cadbury's Dairy Milk or Galaxies. And the first question that person asks you is, would you like a bar of chocolate with that today, sir? They're only £1. Maybe you buy it, maybe you don't buy it. Well, what I happen to know is on average, they sell 50 of those bars of chocolate per day in the store. So £50, pretty innocuous. They're running 7 days a week. So, okay, £350 a week, £1,400 a month, £16,800 a year. Okay, not bad, £16,800 a year. Now, if I was to tell you that there's around, it's actually more than that now, but it's around about 1,000 Smith stores in the country. Well, those of you that are quick at maths can work out very quickly that we've now got a £16.8 million worth of business coming through just by offering that bar of chocolate to those customers each time. So what do you suppose they're paying for that bar of chocolate? 25p, 30p, 30. Let's say 30 pence a bar for that chocolate. Now, that chocolate gets delivered to store free. The manufacturers are doing that. Those wages for those people are being paid anyway. They're at the checkout doing their job. So if we're paying 30p for a bar of chocolate, we are making £11.76 million a year profit, net profit, on just asking someone, would you like a bar of chocolate? That's how powerful it can be, guys. Okay, you walk into McDonald's. You've all been to McDonald's. You walk up to the counter. There's a spotty 16-year-old there who can barely get out of bed in the morning, but they've been well trained. And the first thing they say when you order your food is, would you like a large with that? Would that be large fries? Do you want a large meal, sir? So everybody's at it. When you go out for a restaurant, you're out with your friends, your family, you're relaxed, you're in a good place. You might fancy a glass of Chardonnay. Waiter comes up. Would you like a glass of Chardonnay? Would you like? Yes, please. Would that be a large or a small? They're always offering in the large first rather than the small. Oh, I'm in a good place. So let's have a large. Everybody's at it. They're always looking to increase the average sale price. When you're there, you're a captive. You're there. You're about to spend some money. How can we get them to spend some more? Amazon. Another example, you've all been on Amazon, you're about to buy something, up they pop at the bottom. People that have bought this have also bought this, or people that bought that might like to buy that. This will go with that. Everybody's doing it. Last time I was looking for a pair of shorts in M&S, up came this example here, saw the shorts, I saw the t-shirt with it, I was about to spend £25. So, you know what, that looks nice. They've done the hard work for me. Yeah, I'll have that. So I've nearly doubled the amount of money I spent them with them. This is how powerful it is, guys. So important to try and remember some of the things that we're going here. So your average sale price is obviously going to be your total sales divided by your number of sales. And once you know what it is, guys, how can I increase it? What can I do to get a paying customer to spend more money with me? How do you sell more or other products, services? So for example, let's assume you sell big ticket items. So that would be, let's say like a car dealer or something. So someone's selling cars. So a client comes on, they buy a car, they're a really good experience generally. The problem is they're not going to come back for another 2, 3, 5 years, whatever it is, assuming they've had a good experience. So the big boys are at it, but what do? Well, you need to start thinking about ways. Most of them do. They might do MOTs, they might do servicing, but I would say, well, let's go one step further than that. Let's look at insurance policies. Let's look at loans, for example. All the big boys are doing it already. What can we bolt on? May not be something we're doing. It'll be a third-party product, but we can take a commission from that and get the average sale price up at every occasion. And then guess what? Yes, we're going to be tracking it, aren't we? We need to track that average sale price to see what we can do, what's it doing in the business, and how we can improve on that. Number 4 is now we're going to talk about the number of transactions, so the repeat purchases. So once we've got that new customer coming in, then maybe they're spending 2 or 3 times. We want them to spend 7, 8, 9. We want them to be spending as much money as possible with us as regularly as possible. So this one is actually about me. I love Apple products. I always have done. I think they're great. Aesthetically, they do a great job. I always get a good experience when I go to the shop, if I'm buying from them. They look after me. The service and support I get is very strong, I find. And I think their products are really, really great. I get it. I get regular updates, software updates. If I've got a problem, there's always someone on the end of the phone that can help me. I think it's a great brand and a great product. And guess what? I've become an advocate for the brand now. I'm talking about it now. I'm saying to you guys how much I like Apple. How powerful is that when you've got people talking about your product, your service, whatever it is you guys are doing? It's so powerful to get people buying into your brand. They want to tell other people about it. When you've had a good experience, you want to share it with others. I'm doing it to you now, but let's take that one step further. When you want to share that experience, you're going to share it online now, aren't you? You're going to be on LinkedIn, you're going to be on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever the social media is that's relevant to your business sector. You're going to want to tell the world about it. How powerful is that, guys? And it's not costing you anything. So, okay, repurchases, the point of this. So I had a little count up, and I'm just going to run through how much money I've actually spent over the last few years on Apple products. I bought 2 MacBook Pros, 4 iPhones now, 1 iMac, 2 sets of earbuds, a couple of battery cases, a couple of tracker pads, Apple TV, quite a lot of App Store purchases and music subscription, I might add. And the total Apple purchases over the past 8 years for me is over £15,000. And that's the power of it. That's the power of what I'm talking about here, guys. When you get people to buy into your brand, they buy into your product, they buy into your service, keep getting them to come back again and again and again. We're launching something new. We're doing this. We're trying that. We just get every single time we're looking to get them to spend more money with us. So what's your initial customer experience like? What does it look like? What's the journey like for your customer? How are they being looked after? How often do they repurchase from you? Monitor it. If you're monitoring it, you'll know. And you think, you know what, I'm only selling to these guys 2 or 3 times a year. I definitely reckon we can sell them more. So how are you going to go about that? Talk to your team about it. Put a strategy together. What's your retention strategy for your existing customers? What are you doing once they're over the line and they've spent money with you? That's when the hard work begins. We've really got to keep them engaged with our business moving forward. How do you follow up? How do you encourage their return? What do you do? What system do you have in place to make those customers come back to shop with you more often? Obviously, people, you get it yourself. You get it through your emails, guys. You get it in magazines, wherever it is you see it. But you're being bombarded with offers. That's great. That works, obviously. But there are other ways that we can think of more creatively, perhaps. If you're selling stuff that could be quite technical, then you might put some videos together and send them out once a month via your email marketing or whatever it may be. Think about value you can add to your, what can you give them to get them to come back and show interest in spending more money with you more often. And update your customers with things, as I say, that would be of interest to them. And then perhaps construct a plan of activities. And then you just want to make sure that they're going to be spending money with you time and time again. And then obviously we're back to tracking and monitoring again to see what's working and what's not working. Because when we know something's working, we can focus even more on that, drill down into some detail and work even harder on it and drop the things that aren't working so well. All right, now we're going to talk about our gross profit margin, which is number 5 out of our 7 today. So I would ask any business I go into, generally speaking, tell me what do you think what your gross profit margin is. Nearly always they don't know. They'll have a stab at it. They might have a rough idea. Generally, they'll think back to last year's accounts and pluck the figure out they saw there as their gross profit margin. Guys, this is really important, your gross profit margin. It's the barometer for your business. It tells you how you're doing regularly. So monthly, if we're looking at what our gross profit margin is doing, that's a very important thing. And we should be doing that month in, month out. It tells the health, it tells us the health of our business, if you like. If you had a dashboard on a car and you're going to have one thing on there, that's what it will be. It will be your gross profit. So for those of you that are not too sure about it, what is the gross profit? Well, it's quite straightforward. Gross profit is your revenue, your sales, minus the cost of those sales. So on the left-hand side here, you can see we've got sales of 300 grand. The cost of those sales are £200,000. The gross profit on that is going to be obviously £100,000, which gives us a gross profit margin or percentage margin of 33%. And then on the right-hand example, what we've managed to do, we've managed to reduce those costs of sales. So what have we done? Maybe the wages have gone down. We brought in some employees from overseas. Maybe our products we're buying in, maybe we've got a better discount on those, but we've got that number down. So naturally, what's going to happen? Well, our gross profit margin goes up. Brilliant. That's great for us. So we've gone from 33% to 43%. So your gross profit margin, guys, if you take your gross profit margin and divide it by your sales and times it by 100, you'll be left with your gross profit margin percentage. And it is the true income, as I've just said, in your business. It's not the same as a markup, guys. That's something different. We're talking about gross profit here, okay? And as I've said, it indicates how successfully you're making profit. Gross out of your sales. So if your gross profit margin percentage is declining, well, that would be worrying, wouldn't it, guys? It's not going the right way. If it's static month on month, well, that's okay. If it's going up, even better. But if we're looking at it month on month, we can see. And if it does drop down, well, then the alarm bells will start ringing and we start investigating. What's happened? What's happened? Are we paying more money and more wages? Have we had a material price increase? Something has changed. We're paying more for our... There is something that's changed in the mix. So... another one, improve your gross profit margin. What about increasing your prices? I touched on it a little bit earlier. Everyone gets worried. If you can clearly show your market why you are different from the others and your customers understand that, you can charge them more money, and more importantly, they're happy paying more money for it. If you are worried about losing customers, then you're going to be losing the right customers. And what I mean by that is those customers that are really, really price sensitive. If your prices have gone up, I'm not talking about the old stuff, we're talking about the future now. If your prices have gone up, those price sensitive people won't want to pay or buy your product or service. So that's all right, because they're only ever buying from you because it was price and price alone. So let those go. We don't want those guys. Let them go to the others, as I've said earlier today, to your competition, and let them fight over the price. You're not interested in fighting over price because you've got the confidence to deliver your brand, your product, your service in a way that your customers are happy paying more for. Or the alternative, we just spoke about that, reduce the cost of your goods. New suppliers, better terms, maybe you're buying services in from overseas, depends on what you're doing, but look at getting those costs down, and our gross profit margin is obviously going to be increasing. As I've said, guys, should be tracked monthly. It's quite straightforward. Put a set of KPIs in. We'll come on to that in a minute and look into it and look at the changes.
Sorry, Mark.
So next up, we're going to be talking about our fixed costs. So the fixed costs in the business are the costs that go out every single month that we have no control, relatively no control over. They're going to go out, not come rain or shine. So it's going to be our rent, our rates, our salaries, if you like, our insurance policies, our cars, all of the regular stuff. That's our fixed costs, or our overheads, if you like. So we now have our gross profit margin, and we'll take away those fixed costs from our gross profit margin, and that leaves us with our net profit. That's how much we are making as a business at the end of the month, at the end of the year, at the end of the decade, wherever it is you're measuring over. So I would urge you, some of those fixed costs is very easy to get complacent, especially if you're doing well and your business is growing. It's very easy to get complacent about those fixed costs. It's just good housekeeping, guys, to keep an eye on them. So in one of my businesses, one of my account girls, I used to make her spend 2 hours. She asked her to do 2 hours every single month. And those 2 hours were spent on our fixed costs in the business. So if contracts were coming up, she would be looking at what we're paying for electricity, for absolutely everything. And she'll do those 2 hours every single month. And that small amount of time over a period of a year would equate always to thousands of pounds in my particular business. So it's just good housekeeping, guys, to keep an eye on. Do you really need that? Is it adding any value to your business? No, Well, we'll cut it out. Is it working for us? Yes, we need that service. We need this. Then great. Shop around. Make sure you're paying the market price for your perceived value of what you're getting back. Biggest cost is obviously always going to be staff salaries. So if you want to work out your break-even point, which is pretty important, guys, you want to know what amount of money you need to hit every month before you're making profit. That's easy. You just take your fixed costs and you divide those. Once you've worked out what your fixed costs are per month, you divide them by your gross profit margin, and that will tell you how much money you need every month to break your business even. So what could be the impact if we were to focus on the 6 areas we've covered already? What could it look like if we were going to just put a small amount of change into our business? So I put 5% in this particular example. So you can see there, the areas we've already spoken about is 5%. We're speaking about 5% in each area. Well, the difference will be a whopping 184% on your bottom line. And I'm going to show you now how that actually looks. So we've got on the left hand side, we've got what we're currently doing, okay, and on the right hand side now we have our 5% increase. So we've made the changes, the things we've been talking about today, we put and implemented those into our business, and we're saying we're just going for a 5% increase in each area. Well, as you can see, if you go down the page, everything's increased 5% apart from our fixed costs. Remember, we wanted to save money, so our fixed costs have gone down in the business, and we're left with a whopping net profit there of 285,700 from 101. And that's the power of implementing what we're talking about today across your business. So I've been talking a lot about monitoring, measuring. It's really, really important, guys. So I would advocate putting a set of KPIs in several areas in your business. We'll start with sales and marketing, because I think that's probably the most important, but equally, key performance indicators for those of you that aren't familiar with it. We put them in, and we put them in because they help us measure and monitor what's going on. So it's always good to track our turnover and our profit, which we can see on the left-hand side. I would say most businesses do that. They don't even do that, but that's okay. That's good, but it's not really telling us the information. It's like an overview. We need some more concise information to be able to act on that and make those changes. So for example, here, we've got some break-even sales. We've got the inquiries coming in month on month. And then how much of that business are we converting? How many of those new inquiries are we converting? We may have done a Google campaign, or we may have spent £10,000 on an exhibition stand in January. We can actually monitor how those sales have increased and the differences and what differences they've made. And then perhaps in this example, you've got a team of 2 or 3 salespeople in an office. How much are we paying them, and what percentage is each person actually converting? So you've got John and Sarah. John might be converting 50% more sales every month than Sarah, and so you want to ask yourself why. It could be John's just been there longer, more experienced. But if that's the case, then we want John teaching Sarah some of the tricks of the trade and how he does things, so we can get Sarah's sales up. If we're not monitoring it, we don't know. We don't know what they're converting. So that's what KPIs are like, guys. So for those of you that are in manufacturing, really good to put these things in your production lines, and really important, as I spoke about earlier, your gross profit margin. I would always have a set of KPIs based around the numbers of your business every month. So gross profit margin, net profit margin, the various costs within the business that you deem to be important to give you the information that you actually want. Which brings me nicely on to number 7 now. This is the secret ingredient, if you like, the key, the most important thing. So what do you think that is going to be? Well, obviously, it's going to be you, the business owner. Now, if you're not able to focus, if you're not able to download to your management teams, if you're not able to do the things and focus with a vision that we've just spoke about, then nothing's going to happen, guys. It's all about you. It's all about you driving the business. It's all about your focus. It's about your vision and having everyone else on board with you. And unfortunately, in my experience, if you think back to the 90%, 10%, it applies here as well. It's the biggest challenge faced by 90% of business owners that I come across. So that's why having a business mentor to help you could be so very useful. Self-management. How do you plan your day? your week? Do you just wake up on a Monday morning, go into the office, go to the factory, wherever it is, and noise just happens, things just happen, things take off, and you become part of that week, and before you know it, it's Friday, it's the weekend, and the system repeats itself again. We're talking about doing things differently today, so perhaps start having a think about a plan and a strategy around different elements for your business, the overall plan, obviously, and think about what you might want to do next week, or what you want your management team doing next week, what you want the sales team doing next week, and the week after, and the week after. It's really important. Things get done, things happen a lot quicker that way. How well do you delegate? Guys, a word of warning, this one's really important. I know what it's like when you've built a business up. It's your baby, it consumes you, you think about it all the time. That's just how it is. But as your business grows, if you're not able to delegate to others around you, your life is going to be hell. So you've heard it here. I'll say it again, your life will be hell. Try to understand. I know it's difficult to let go, but try and understand by having the right people around you and delegating tasks, the ones that you're not so good at, you don't like doing, but other people are, they're better than you at things. When you can let go and delegate to those people, your business will start to fly. It's really important. Otherwise, you'll be a slave to your business. And that's not what this should be about. Your business should be giving you the lifestyle you want. And do you have a clearly defined structure in your business? It's really important, guys. You know, we've got a team, so maybe some of you aren't that big as businesses, maybe some of you are quite a bit bigger, but that structure is really important to help us grow, because everyone's got their purpose within the business. What I would say, a little spin-off from that is, again, from my experience over the years I've been in business, is employing, what happens quite often is business starts, they grow, and then they've got 4 or 5 employees, and then someone thinks, well, the owner usually, we need a manager now, we need a manager in the business, we need someone, we've got to that stage. And not always, but quite often, the person that was in there first, yeah, we'll make them a manager. They've been here a long time, they know what they're doing with their job, they're really good at what they do. But we're talking about a manager, someone that manages people. That's not necessarily the same thing as that which they were doing before. So you always employ the right person for the job. You're going to pay the same money, so why wouldn't you want to pay the same money for someone that's really good at what they do? So that's just something. Family members is another one. They come into the business. Now, if that family member is the best out there, brilliant, employ them. I'm not saying don't, but don't take the easy route. Start thinking differently to how you might want to do build a management team. How well do you prioritize? That's another thing that's really important, guys. Being able to dissect down what we're doing this day, this month, this year, and being able to share that with all of the others around you. How well do you lead? How well do you manage leadership, guys? I can tell you a bit about that. It's difficult. Okay, there is no book about how to lead. I'll rephrase that. There's plenty of books out there. Unfortunately, it's down to experience. But what I can tell you from my own experience is, for a start, you will need to have empathy. You need to try and understand where those other people are coming from, whether you're talking about something on the shop floor, something in the office, it doesn't matter. But always try to, in the same way that you want to get inside your customer's head and understand how they tick, it's the same with your employees. You've got to have empathy. You've got to be able to listen to their side or their point as well. And also, you need to be able to share your vision clearly with those people around you, because once you can do that, that is so much more powerful than keeping everything in your head. So as you're driving your business forward, as you want to grow your business, it's really key to have the right team around you. And the more you can share about where you're going, the more you're going to get the right people around you, because they're keen to know about their futures. They've got a life in work. They want to know what's happening. And you will find people want to be part of that journey with you. They levitate towards it and they'll give their best for you. And that is a very powerful thing. You're the driver of the bus, if you like. You want all those people on your bus to be on your journey with you and engaged with you, and that's really powerful. And that's a job of a leader, guys. And it's, as I say, it's easier said than done, but it is about learning and timing and listening. So that's just a bit of advice I can offer offer you on leadership. So what is success then? Well, it's nothing more than a few simple disciplines practice every day, which is where I started right from the outset, talking about monitoring, talking about doing things. This is what the big businesses do, guys. This is what the big corporates do. They do all of the things I've been talking to you about today, and they do them regularly. Sure, they've got people that can do them. Most small businesses don't do those things. So moving forward, we need to focus. We need to think about the future. We need to think what we're doing, and we need to focus on those elements of our business that we're going to make a difference with, and learn to manage ourselves as well. If you're not good at that, that's great. The fact that you're aware of it and you're thinking about it gets us stepping in the right direction. So I'm just going to show you some stats now. These are some stats. 93% businesses say a mentor helped them succeed. That was from SAYS. 70% of SMEs with mentors survive more than 5 years. 60% see increased productivity due to their mentoring. And 97% said with a mentor, they really valued him. That was from SAYS. So why would you not want a mentor? These are some of the businesses I work with. Banks, obviously, I do webinars for them, as I'm doing for you today, to obviously their audience, and try and educate them, as hopefully I'm doing for you guys today. So that concludes the webinar. For those of you that would like, there is a free template available for the KPIs we spoke about and the marketing plan. There's the webinar itself, if you like a copy of that. And also I'm offering a free complimentary mentoring session today to those of you that would like to take me up on that. Just a simple case of emailing me, Mark at ukbusinessmentoring.co.uk. Firstly, well, I'd like to say thank you very much for listening today. It's been a pleasure. If you can take anything away from today, implement it into your business and make a difference and a change, that's going to really make me happy. So once again, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed today's webinar. We're going to open up to some questions now. So if any of you want to ask me any questions related to your business or anything we've spoken about today, then now's your opportunity.
I actually have a question, Mark, if that's all right.
Okay.
Because I find it very insightful. So for a new business that has no audience, that you just want to start up and you don't have an actual audience, you don't actually have an actual market yet, what do you think is the best step to gain an audience, really? It's from ground zero, really. What do you think is the best steps?
Well, I'm assuming you've got an idea. So market research will be the first one. So research your market, get a really good handle on what's out there and how you can manipulate your business and slot it in to the market. Read books, find webinars about startup businesses, just like this one today. Go and, or if you can find someone, tap into a mentor, if you like, tap into someone that's been on the journey before. They can share their experiences with you and you can learn from that. But certainly books, webinars, there's plenty of stuff online. Spend as much time as you can researching and getting ready for where you want to take that business. A lot of what we've spoken about today, obviously, is for those more mature businesses, but don't be frightened. If you've got something you want to do, you believe in it and you want to take it on, then go for it. Always look at the worst case scenario. That's what I would say. What is the worst thing that could happen after a year if, for whatever reason, this doesn't work out? Now, if you're happy and comfortable with that, then go for it, fill your boots. But you've got to be focused, you've got to be committed.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions today? Well, I'm surprised. Normally there's quite a few questions. Okay, so perhaps I made everything crystal clear today.
Perhaps.
That pleases me.
The slide was very concise, to be honest. So it was definitely, perhaps there's no need of questions since everything was pretty much laid bare and clean. Yeah, so if there's not any more questions, Mr. Paul or Kat, if you have anything that you'd like to say or any comments, you're more than welcome. Ed, if you'd like, if you have any comments or questions that you'd like to ask. No, and if not, then thank you. Thank you for attending the webinar. Thank you so much, Mark. Honestly, you're an expert. It's quite obvious that you know exactly what you're talking about. And honestly, the benefits of even having a business mentor, I think you really showed it, because through all your slides, I'm learning so much. I've learned so much. I'm going to look back at this recording and even get some tips, because it was just like, wow, okay, it's a lot, but it's so insightful. So thank you so much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Ed, for attending the meeting. Yeah, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And yeah, thank you for attending the webinar. There's going to be more webinars upcoming through January. Christmas, the December period is quite busy with our live events. So we have Christmas, we have an annual Southeast London Christmas lunch upcoming. That's also being promoted, and that's going to be sent to everybody that's attended to, if you'd like to get a ticket. Many people have already booked to that, so it's going to be a good one if you'd like to attend. And more of our webinars are going to be upcoming also in the coming year. So thank you so much, Rob. Mark, okay. Sorry, I keep on calling you Rob. I think Roblett, your last name is very much.
Yeah, it's happened all my life, Senga, so if that makes it really better.
Has it really?
Yeah, absolutely. Regularly called Rob.
Rob. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye. Have a nice day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.